I will tell you what a lazy, restful week we had in Vegas. I'm kidding. Can I just tell you? So for me, let me give you a little insight into Theresa Flood that may or may not surprise you. So if you know the KPA, you understand that it's a scale. So my sociability is a 5, which means you can typically flex it up, or down about 3. So I start and I'm working, guys. My flexibility, my sociability has to be like an 8 because there's all the talking and all the people. And then I go back to our hotel room and guess what? My husband's still there. All the talking, all the people. So by the end, guess where my sociability is? Like it's plunged into the negatives, you guys. And in Vegas too, like you get no reprieve. Like everywhere you go, constantly the whole time. So I was just ready to come back to like silence. But no, I came back to children. I'm kidding, kind of. It was an awesome week. If you survived family reunion without getting the crud, congratulations. I know we have several down with the flu and different things, and many of us still standing. So congratulations if you made it back healthy. Loved seeing so many of you in the trading room coming in to watch virtually. I thought that was awesome. I'm anxious to hear what you guys thought of your digital experience. But it really was a great, great week. It was fun having it in Vegas. I think I walked an average of 5 to 6 miles a day. So that was great. I got to skip the gym in the morning and just do the walking. But I will tell you, if you haven't been to a convention, I would encourage you to start now thinking about doing mega camp. So the dates are already out. Early bird pricing is already out. And you say, well, why would I want to do that? And it really is an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your business. And if you do it right, you're going to make networking connections that really will pay you back multiple fold from attending these kind of events. So it really was a great week. I'm getting this morning. I want to share with you my notes from hearing Rory Vaden. How many of you are familiar with Rory Vaden? Is that a name that you know? Was not somebody that I was familiar with. He spoke at the CEO Mastermind. So before every convention, there is a separate event called the CEO Mastermind that Gary Keller puts on. So it's a separate ticket that you purchase to attend that. And he always brings in just a great lineup of speakers. And this was probably my favorite CEO Mastermind that I've been to, partly because the way the room was. I think the last one I went to, I felt like so far away. And while I don't have ADD, sometimes I get a little, restless, if you know what I mean. And this one just, though, star-studded lineup. And one of the speakers they brought in was a guy by the name of Rory Vaden. And Rory Vaden has written several books. I will tell you what they are. I wrote them down. I don't remember them off the top of my head. Well, maybe I'll tell you what they are. Hang on, it's on my different sheet. Procrastinate on Purpose is one of his books. Take the Stairs is his other book. And essentially, his main message is about building an influential personal brand. So many famous people that all have amazing brands have hired Rory to help them cultivate and develop their own personal brand. And so I want to share some of this with you because I know a lot of you, even at Family Reunion, maybe weren't at CEO Mastermind. So one of the things he did when he first came onto the stage is he wrote a jingle or like a little song, just like a little song short. And he used all of the KW acronyms in there. So he was throwing around, KPA and ALC, and there was some just general real estate, GCI or whatever. And it was this short little song that he opened up his entire talk with. And it was funny. And of course, we all laughed. But my takeaway in that was that he immediately developed rapport with everybody in that room. He didn't actually stand up and say, let me tell you about me. I'm Rory Vaden, and this is my long resume of all the things that I've ever done. What he actually did was said, hey, I know who you are. I understand who this group is. I've done my research on you. And it was almost like a two-way conversation, if that makes sense. because everybody in that room felt seen. They felt understood. They felt like, okay, this guy, he knows who he's talking to. And it was such a powerful illustration of how rapport is really built when we know the other person, not when they know us at its core. And this is a guy who's all about developing personal brand and essentially digitizing our reputation. So that's how he defines brand. He said, what is brand? Brand is essentially just the digitization. Yeah, you make fun of me. Try to say it on your own right now. It's hard. Of your reputation. So you may have an amazing reputation. The question, though, is, has it been digitized? The question is, has it been digitized? Is it actually written? Is it branded? Is it on the internet, right? Can it be duplicated and scaled? So it's taking who we are and then taking it to that level. So the stat is that 3/4 of people, 75% of the world, is more likely to trust somebody with an established personal brand. Now, again, this is not with an established reputation. Okay. So it's not that you have a good reputation. It's that it's actually been digitized. Ooh, I did so good that time. Digitized. Okay. The higher the requirement for trust, the more important it is to have an established personal brand. Okay. The higher the requirement for trust, the more important having an established personal brand. So if you think about your role as a realtor, that requires a high level of trust when you're helping somebody make a financial decision, when you're consulting them around their money, around their wealth building. So he said, why do personal brands oftentimes fail, though? Because a lot of times we create a logo, right? And we get this fancy new color scheme that we're going to use. Woo! Yeah. Okay. That's not really what he's talking about, although those things can be important. That's part of it. He said the biggest reason personal brands fail is because diluted focus yields diluted results. Diluted focus yields diluted results. So when we're developing this brand, we try to be all things to all people and try to put out there everything that we are and everything that we do. And it actually waters it down. So the goal of personal branding is to find your uniqueness and exploit it in the service of others. I loved that. I thought that was so cool. Find your uniqueness and then exploit it in the service of others. So you have to have the discipline to become known for one thing. And it's not one thing. I help people buy and sell homes. That's not unique in our industry. Doesn't set you apart. So what is unique about your giftings and your talents and what you bring to the table? So what problem do you love to solve? Because people will buy solutions to a problem. They buy solutions to a problem. So what is the problem that you're looking to solve? And then you have to sell that there is a problem and then show that you're the solution to the problem. You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person that you once were. And I love this because I think this is just the power of personal testimony. You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person that you once were. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to have a bottom of the barrel story, although some of us do, and that is great and good. It just means what hesitancies have you had in the past? What fears have you had in the past? What limiting beliefs have you had in the past and overcome? And you are most powerfully positioned to help somebody there. Rory said, don't differentiate yourself based on what you do. Differentiate yourself based on who you are. Differentiate yourself based on who you are. Because the truth is, as realtors, as brokerages, while we do different things, at the end of the day, we do a lot of the same things, right? You help people through a transaction. What you do specifically, yes, you may add some unique differentiating factors, and I would absolutely encourage you to do that. iFinder, private collection, seller optionality are perfect examples of that. But in your personal brand, you're differentiating yourself because of who you are. And because who you are is going to attract, as Daniel Hunt loves to say, your vibe will attract your tribe, and you're going to attract the people who resonate with you and the differential that you bring. This I loved the most because as I am getting putting our huddles and different things out there on social media, I loved the statement. He said, a great personal brand is not self-centered. It's not about becoming famous per se. It's service-centered. So while we have to push past ourselves a little bit and put ourselves out there, when we get over ourselves and realize that it's not about being self-centered, hey, everybody, look at me. I'm so clear on the value and the problems that I'm going to help people solve that I'm service-centered all the way. So ask yourself, what challenge have you conquered? What challenge have you overcome? How can you be more useful? How can you be more useful to your database? How can you be more useful to the general public? Fear is a self-centered concept. Fear is a self-centered concept because at the end of the day, most of our fear is wrapped in our ego. Especially when we're talking about developing your personal brand. What if nobody likes it? What if somebody makes fun of me? What if somebody thinks I'm dumb? What if I say somebody and somebody calls me out and disagrees with something that I say, right? What if I put it out there and it doesn't work? Now, all that fear really is based around ego. And he said, there is no fear when you have a clear mission. When you know what problem you're solving, that you're here to help, that you're going to bring service, that's the piece that strips away the fear. You know, in regards to social media, he said, we get bummed when we only get 14 likes on our video. And yet if I said, hey, Brian, there's a room of 14 potential buyers downstairs in the training room, and they just want to hear what you have to say, I'm pretty sure he would say, gotta go, jump off this huddle and jump down there. And all day long, he'd be like, y'all, I had this most amazing opportunity to talk to 14 people today. And yet we all get our panties in a wad and our feelings hurt, right? When we're not viral. That's where we have to get over ourselves. So I thought this was great. I would encourage you to look him up on Instagram, YouTube, Rory Vaden, Roryvaden. And if this is a journey that you're on as far as developing your personal brand, doing more video on social media, all of that, I think he is definitely a voice worth listening to. He just had a lot of heart. I resonated a lot with what he said, and I thought he brought a lot of value to the table. So that is what I took out of one of the speakers at CEO Mastermind. It's 8:45. I was going to give y'all all my ahas from family reunion. Then I realized, no, I should probably not do that. And that's probably not enough time. Okay. What do we got going on? We've got 30 minutes to raise your real estate IQ. We do have ahas from everybody on Wednesday. So I would encourage you to be there. If you attended none of family reunion, you should definitely be there because you're going to want to hear and learn from everybody. If you were in the training room back here at home, please come and share what you took away from the sessions you were a part of. And then certainly if you were at family reunion, please come, because if none of y'all come, then it's going to be very few ahas. You know what I'm saying? So it just takes a little teamwork to make this a great, great Wednesday. So that's happening at 11. And I think that's all I'm going to share today because it's 8:45. Daniel, are y'all doing some conversation frameworks? Actually, they used a new word, conversation tracks. Anyway, I just heard that. Thought I'd share. Okay, go take a listing, stay on to practice your conversations and do some lead gen, and we'll see everybody back tomorrow morning. Love you guys.